save the idea to put so people can identify.
Yes, I love that idea.
Okay, I didn't thought about that, eh?
Yes.
I didn't thought about that.
So they did the marketing for you.
Are you just another person that makes up the population?
The other thing that I seem to have a problem with is people want to give, but they want to gain something out. If it's on a spiritual satisfaction, if it's on something like they want to see the results, if it's result driven, if it's gamification, if it's all of these things, they want to get something out. So this is what I started realizing. Minutes.
Like God just done it. He said to me, do you realize I'm giving you the keys to heal the economy? It's like I'm giving you that. It's your portion. I was like, oh. It's like, and it says, and this is the platform that you're going to use. It's like he's taken it and said, my kingdom's upside down. People think the economy must come from job creation, society pulling in this way. No, I'm going to heal your economy through a generous heart. And then he showed me the picture of how we as South Africans are very good at pulling together in unity.
And the beds that you guys are designing, does everything is manufactured over here?
Yeah. So with the beds, one morning I was reading and I read this verse that said, go and prepare the land. Go and, this is the industry that we're getting to. So yeah.
it's hard because a lot of people want to step out into faith in starting a business, like you guys preparing it, and then they lose. It's like, how do you know? How did you, obviously you just have faith and like, I didn't know I was going to make a movie or make an UnderdogZone or whatever, but I just knew I needed to do it. If I lose, it didn't bother me. Yeah. Like, didn't bother me. Like, what's wrong with the what hoodie, what hat, what? That's your problem. That's your problem. You just
a challenge where we could have easily fell into a depression mode. And we use this example, we have certain periods of the year or months where we know that we don't do as great in turnover. So I was like, okay, how are we going to overcome this? How do we stop ourselves from falling into the reality of our circumstances? Because I think that's everybody's thing, is that it's the reality that you do fall into depression, you do have bad days. So one time walking to Conrad's office just after we had a sort of a meeting about, okay, so what's the plan and how are we going to overcome this obstacle, you know? And I was like, let's buy more foam. I mean, that in that situation you would think like, are you a madman? Why would you want to buy more foam in a position that is actually that could ruin us?
Yeah.
And I said, no, let's
just adding the pressure.
Yeah, I said, let's put a demand on heaven. Let's put a demand on how we see ourselves. We have a destiny that we know that we want to follow, and a destiny we want to get to. So if we don't break the ground in it, we're never going to accomplish what we need to accomplish unless we take on this battle. You know, it's almost, for me, I see it as almost as like a war in my head. You know, like you're on the war field, and if you don't do something drastic, nothing's going to move, nothing's going to shift. So I said to Conrad, we need to get to a certain amount of turnover, so let's order the foam to get to that amount. Okay, that was like complete crazy thinking. I think if we were investors that invested into our business and we brought this to a board meeting and said, this is what we want to do, they would like shut us down. Like, you're not doing this. You're
Okay,
not
I
doing
got
this.
that. I got that.
So we were like,
It's not investable.
yeah, it's like, there's no way. So we were like, okay. So we bought all this foam. All right. Now we've got a warehouse full of this foam, and we're like, okay, now we need to get the sales for this foam.
Oh my word.
All right. So that was the exciting part. Now came the challenge. Okay. We took that step of faith, but we weren't seeing anything. And we were talking a bit now about grace. Like, okay, that was probably our performance part of it. That's where we performed. We now, okay. Now we were waiting for the grace to kick in.
Okay.
And we were really struggling. It became reality. Would I do that again? I'd say yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's the
Okay.
right question.
Yeah. And it's like
Yeah.
that's something that I've adopted, where I've actually learned from Byrone to. So for example, you would get furniture orders, and it will just be quotations, and you will take that step of faith to put it into production, and then I cannot explain to you how many times those orders actually, I mean, it turned into confirmed orders. And it just helped so much because it helped us with production, and also on the other side of the coin is many times that order didn't come through, but it was actually manufactured for somebody else.
You can't allow yourself into that mindset. It's like, and I want to use this example. Put yourself in the shoes of the lady who touched Jesus' cloak. He felt the power move out of him because of her faith. Now, we have these stories in the Word of God that says, have the faith of the size of a mustard seed. Say to that mountain, move, and it shall move. But what does it look like in reality? What does that really
That's
mean
my
to
whole.
us?
Yeah, that's my
You
whole
know?
thing as well.
And so it's like, and as I say, we train ourselves in it. So we choose to make the decision to walk in faith, but we grow in faith.
Yeah, exactly.
In it. So it's like the example that I use now of buying that foam. Would I do it again? Yes. If you ask me if I'll do it again, I'll do it again. And so that's how I see kingdom should look like. You've got the missionaries that go out to the mission field.
Yes.
And they're called to do that. All right. And so you've got the evangelists that are called to speak to the crowds of people. Or you've got the father of a house who's there to teach. That's where the teaching is in a church structure, and he teaches, and then he sends the evangelist, he sends the prophets, he sends, he equips them. So that's his function. So business has a very big functional part in the kingdom of God. I mean, people can click that.
Yeah.
But that's the culture that I want to start changing. That one guy asked me, how do you hear God's voice? I'm like, well, it's different from me to you. I mean, my brain speaks on a different frequency to operate my toe than it operates my hands. My toe can't operate the way that my hand can do. Yeah, this is what came up. It's like the way that I speak to my hand, it's got different types of ways than I speak to my toe.
Yeah.
But it's still speaking. So the way that God speaks to me is in a completely different way than He speaks to anybody else.
Like as I walk in this and God shows me I must do this, and then I do it, and it works. So how does it happen? I haven't failed yet.
Okay,
So why is it different for me, and why is it different for me but can't be different for anybody? Why is it
because
the
I
same?
think people are limiting themselves. I think they're limiting themselves, and they use the Bible to justify it.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. Let me give you a great testimony that we are walking in. We haven't fulfilled the testimony, but it's being fulfilled.
Okay?
Because I'm not putting limitations on it. Conrad's not putting limitations.
Because we
on
don't
it.
have a benchmark. Because we don't know what our benchmark is.
Exactly.
If God's called you for something, He will fulfill it in you. He will make it happen. We just have to align ourselves, and we don't know what that aligning looks like until we walk in the journey.
That's it.
So the thing is, we had this discussion where if you look at certain biblical verses through the business lens, and we learned this from a particular lady who came and shared it with us, was if you look at nations, you see industries. If you look at countries, you see companies. So what stood in my heart was, I want to be an industry leader, because we're called to win nations.
Yes.
Okay, so we
I want to
called
be industry leader.
an industry leader. So we called in the sphere of influence, which is business. Not all of us are called for business.
Yes.
But those
Yes.
that are, we may be the eyes in this situation, or the nose. Who knows what part of the body the business represents? But maybe it's the brain side of things. But we are called in that. So we need to align our thoughts with God's thoughts to understand how we're supposed to walk this journey. So my first question is, I want to be an industry leader. So then I said to God, how does it look like? What does it look like to be an industry leader? And I saw God get all excited. It's like, okay, now you're getting something. Now you're starting to ask the right questions. And he says to him, and it's like, I almost saw him get up on his own and said, I'm going to show you how to make organic foam, like it's never been made. And I was like, organic foam? Never thought of that. So God inspires every inspiration, every imagination. If you think about how this whole earth works, and everything that was designed, I loved watching that How It's Made channel.
Yes.
Okay, so you watch that channel and you see how it's made, and you realize that God is behind everything. He gave the guy the ability to imagine that, to create that into existence, like He created the earth into existence. So He started to point out, like,
Like, did he highlight some sort of things for you? I'm like,
Yes.
okay, look at this, and you started doing research on that particular
Yes.
topic, and then okay, but look at this.
Yeah.
Is that how?
yeah, so
Okay, but that's how it works for me.
yeah,
Like, I get something like, this sounds interesting, and then I go do research, like, hey, but look at this. Hey, but look at this. That's what I'm gonna do, and now I can build a Netflix website.
yeah, so sort of thing. So and not only that, it's like I feel like God wants His sons to take it to a next level and become better. And also, it's like I go around telling people that we're going to create organic foam. So I speak it into existence. And like some people say, but you know what, you should like keep that information quiet because somebody's going to copy you. No, if it's God given to me, then He's going to make it work for me.
If somebody else would have done it, they would have done it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that He's going to give us ingredients is going to be uncopyable. Oh, God gave me a new ingredient today. So I like wait for when He tells me about an ingredient, and then it's so beautiful because He gives me a story of why He's chosen that ingredient. So when I said it's about relationship, it's really relationship. You know, it's like I feel so connected to the way He does it. So then I said, but Lord, You're a God of community. You're a God of bringing. You didn't design us to be doing things alone. You designed us to do things with. So
Yes.
you're going to bring people along in this journey with me. Who are you going to bring along, you know? And so as we're walking through this journey, my wife is busy doing, she got a promotion at work, and one of her functions now is trademarks
Okay.
and poppy law. And that's what she's busy with. And it's like, I said, I'm preparing her for the time when everything is in to trademark, you know? So it's like,
Yeah, it's a journey.
like wow. And then it's like, you see how I'm puzzling this journey with you. And then I was like just so amazed how well our relationship went with our foam supplier. And so we even went to the rugby game, and I took him to the rugby to show him sort of like our sports products that are his foam is being used in our sports product, just to build that relationship even deeper. And at the rugby we're busy chatting about things, and I said to him, so like, tell me about how you got into the foam game, and you know, just getting a bit personal, and you know, because I said I see a great passion that you have for foam. I mean, we almost share that same likeness. Like,
Okay.
how do you have so much passion for a piece of foam? And like I use now, it's like you can see how you can create life out of foam into different commodities, and that's I think
You
is
can
what-
shape it.
You can shape it, yeah. You can mold it into anything. And so he was explaining that he actually studied chemistry. And then he said, and I studied a further 3 years organic chemistry. And my heart like jumped out of my chest. I was like, I knew that this guy is on our path for a reason. And I was like, do I share this with him? Do I tell him that, listen, like, you know, and how do I tell him on heavy? And I was just like, man, and if God's given me the idea and He wants me to run with it, and He's ordaining it, then
To me, it's the flow.
Yeah.
The
so-
more I give, the more knowledge and wisdom I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
No,
that's good, yeah.
that's
So when
good.
I get an idea or
Good way of
revelation, I
thinking.
share them like, because there's something new gonna come pop up.
yeah.
New business ideas, new.
Yeah. Listen. So I feel like God's put us in for a reason, because He said to me, so God said to me that we're gonna make organic foam, and you've got organic background. I said, wow, how amazing is that? And he's like,
What was your response?
he's like taken to surprise. So he goes, so I said, yeah, God's even shared some ingredients with me. So he's like, oh, okay. Well, what ingredients? So I like list the ingredients. And he's like, he says, I'm trying to switch in my organic brain, like trying to see how these things work. And then he says, yeah, we have tried there's been some elements in foam that has used organic components. So I could see he was getting excited about this. And I said, you see, so it can be done. It can be done. There's a shimmer of hope.
Yeah.
The fact that it's been tried, and there's been some people that's been
Testing it.
testing in it, it means that we're on the right path. And it's not about when it happens. It's more about the journey of how it's
Yeah,
going to happen.
exactly.
And that's the excitement. That's what keeps us like going. Because
Look at this testimony. Did you see this is a kingdom business? Look at this. This is how they started. Because a lot of pastors are motivational speakers. They're not practical. That's why their people are still poor, because they don't know. They believe God will bless them, but they don't. And that's why UnderdogZone was born. Because I want to give the practical steps. Like you. It's like you got an idea. Okay, so God highlighted this. So let's start doing research on this. Hey, but look at this. At some point I was doing coding. Like, I don't want coding, but some like I was doing 4 slash, then I'm like 3 code. I'm like, Charlene, what am I doing here? I'm not a coder. But through that, I experienced something different, which led to something. And then people don't want to do that. They feel God's going to give a light. I'm like, oh, this is the business. And then it doesn't happen that way. Pastors don't know, because they're not in the business sector. They don't have that experience.
like, know how God thinks by reading His Word. Get the knowledge of His Word flowing through you, so that you understand His heart, understand the way He operates.
It makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
And then get relationship with Him, and hear what He's saying you to do, how to apply His Word in your circumstances now.
Okay, so we had a discussion this whole morning with regards to the kingdom and business. But then they had an interesting discussion with me. This was last night, eh?
Yeah,
Yesterday you guys have phoned me.
Yeah.
Was he involved?
It was in the afternoon we phoned you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Involved?
continued
Yes.
in the, yeah.
Okay. So they phoned me and they told me about the project that they want to start with. And then I recommend, hey, why don't we put it on UnderdogZone? So if you can just maybe elaborate to the audience what exactly the project's all about, maybe the audience can maybe help you with this project.
Okay, so
So I'm going to leave, guys. Okay, so
all right.
ciao.
Okay.
So the question is, generous hearts, how did it all start? And I think it's important for us to just talk about myself and Byron's vision. We're 2 ordinary guys, and we ask the questions, how do we actually make a difference? How can we make a difference in the world? And we came up with this idea where we said that we as BCI Group want to get involved in a foundation called Generous Hearts, where we get everybody involved to just form part of whatever it is that we identify, whatever initiative it is that we want to identify. And we just also came up with the idea that as 2 people or as a company, we can't really make such a big impact. But if we get a lot of people involved and we get everybody to buy into this idea where we can make a difference in the world and we can actually identify initiatives and then run with it, get people, you know, to buy into it, get people to actually become part of this whole initiative, that we can make such an impact in the world. And that's really what we're on about. And we want to just facilitate the process where we get people to just make a difference. And this whole thing started with us, actually, God told us to give a mattress to give a lounge suite to somebody. And we've just seen the river of blessing just continues flowing, where it started with one person, where we gave a lounge suite to one couple, and where they've actually given their old lounge suite to somebody else. And that lounge suite was, their lounge suite was also given to somebody else. So 3 families were blessed by just us being obedient to what God told us to do. And we just get so excited if we think about people getting involved in this Generous Heart Foundation, where we can make such a huge impact out there.
Okay, so
Generous Heart.
I'm so nervous in front of this camera, like this. But okay, so can I just give it a run without it being on?
Please. No, yeah, okay, stop.
Okay, so yeah, so we're very excited about this new movement that
I'm not recording though now, huh? So just
I just want to feel the camera a little.
Just feel it. Just feel it.
So I'm really excited about what Generous Heart is about. I feel it's really a platform where businesses and people in general can just get connected to this whole movement of flowing of blessing, and that's really what it's about. It's just the blessing that must flow, so that people can just be connected in one heart and in one accord. And yeah, so you know, contact us if you feel that your heart is or that you feel that this is a connection from you, or that you want to get involved. Get onto our Facebook page and contact us and let us know how you would like to be involved. And if you are a ministry that needs help, or an organization, an MPO that needs help, then let us know what your need is, and let's see how we can correlate the two and bring it into one.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we would really like to see that happen on a greater and bigger scale. So we're starting off not knowing how this must be done, but we're doing it. We're stepping out in faith and saying, okay, well, let's get our heart into action and giving back. That's what we are called for as business people. I think that is our strength in our calling. That's our complete ministry, is to be able to come up with a strategy that will work for everybody, that everybody can benefit from. Yeah.
You think you'll say it again? Okay.
That was awesome.
I hope so. Yes, yeah, I think that's if I just flow.
Well, luckily I did record it.
Ek het geweet jy het.
Are you serious?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
See, when I just like get that sense that it's not on.
Yeah.
I really feel that Generous Heart is going to be the thing that is going to heal our economy, because I feel like God operates opposite to the world system, and I think Generous Heart is creating that platform where our economy needs healing, and unless we start opening up our hearts to those around us, it's not going to happen. And that's why we're doing what we do. So we take this leap of faith. I'm uncomfortable in front of this thing. This camera, I'm uncomfortable in front of this camera, but I know that our heart is in the right place, and we want people to connect with their hearts being in the right place, and this is going to work. Yeah. That's. Can you turn it off now? That one was difficult. That hit stuff. That was.
But that's the truth. And people can relate to that.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not something fake, it's nothing.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. It's not about the money, it's not about, it's actually about giving back.
Yeah.
It's like this whole picture of I want to see the economy of our country healed, and it's just there's so many connections to it. It's like I said earlier this morning. That small thing I said was, there's no there'll be no reason for murder and hate when you're living in an economy that's healed. There'll be no reason for crime. And so we want to create that. There'll be no reason to exploit women for the wrong reasons. To try and drive money out of it. If you've got a healthy economy and healthy businesses and kingdom-minded businesses, then there's no need for the rubbish that we see every single day. And I feel that it's the heart of giving that's going to bring it on. It's going to turn the wheels of momentum.
I mean, that's how God first gave.
Yeah.
He gave His Son. So, which was precious. Our business, a lot of our entrepreneur business, that is our baby. So yeah.
I think one of the biggest things for us were, are we making millions to really enable us to just give and to make a huge impact in the world? And I think that is really something that we struggled with because we're not really in a position where we can just, I think our hearts are that if we can give everything, we would do that. And I think by starting something like Generous Hearts, it's just a platform where you can get everybody involved, and we are no experts at this. We don't have the answers, but where people can get involved and people can help us through this process, people with a lot more experience than us in this process. And we've got buy-in from both of our wives, and they want to also really just take this and run with it and identify initiatives, identify projects that we can just take and run with. And hopefully the blessings will flow. The river of blessing will just continuously flow, where people can just get involved and say, you know what, hey, I can paint a room. Hey, I can give a mattress. Hey, I've got 50 rand. Hey, I can do whatever. Hi, I'm Conrad and I'm from Generous Hearts.
Hi, I'm Byron and I'm from Generous Hearts.